I'm Yoko. At least that's my YouTube persona. Happy New Year and welcome to my updated Meet the Artist video for 2023, where I draw a more accurate version of what I look like and talk more about myself as a person for you to get to know me more. I'll also be answering some of your questions that you asked on a community post I made mixed throughout this video. With that said, let's hop in. So, hello, I'm Trinity. I'm a bisexual 22-year-old artist. I'll turn 23 on March 26th, which is... How am I almost 23? Gonna move on from that. That also makes me an Aries for anyone interested. I'm Puerto Rican, Irish, French, and Italian, and I live in America. I'm not really going to just go through my list of likes and dislikes one by one like the last 2 years, and more so just mention it if I feel like it. I figure you can probably just read it and understand what it means if I don't bring it up. Anyway, I've been living in pajamas since the pandemic started due to developing a hatred of jeans, and now I wear PJs when walking dogs around my neighborhood, and I only really get dressed when I'm going somewhere, which isn't often. Should I get rid of this habit? Probably. Am I going to? Probably not. I am also pretty socially anxious and awkward in general, so it's not really like I want to go places other than to my friends or my boyfriends or some family, and they all live pretty far away. Speaking of that, if you were curious of my relationship status, I'm taken, and me and my boyfriend have been together since 10th grade, so I think that's 7 years now. We're both nerds and we love each other. New topic time. So I'm 4'10", which is something that some people think is crazy. I am very short, and I also have a baby face, so I am constantly mistaken for a child, and I have been giving kids menus before. On multiple occasions, and it's annoying. Which, speaking of menus, I was asked what my favorite food was, so I'm just going to say 2 of them that are on very different sides of a spectrum, and one of them is filet mignon with blue cheese on top, and yes, I like blue cheese, you can fight me. I am a cheese lover in general. And then another favorite food is something widely recognized as possibly the worst of its kind, McDonald's. Specifically 2 double cheeseburgers plain with medium fries. It clicks a happy switch in my brain. In general, I'm pretty picky with food, mostly due to not liking certain textures and being overwhelmed by too many combinations in a dish, like sauces and other stuff, or when something's a smooth texture but has little crunchy bits inside of it. Not a fan. I was the type of kid whose food can't touch, and I'm still like that. Moving on, another question that I got was, what was my favorite animal? And the answer is a fennec fox. They are adorable and I love them. I was so excited when Gen 6 Pokemon was announced and we had one as a starter. Fennekin, my baby. I'm just going to ignore Delphox. And if you're completely new here, which hi, thank you for watching. Strange first video. I am a big Pokemon fan. I love the various creature designs and the stories. Mostly the stories and creatures. The gameplay itself has been going a little downhill lately. I've been playing Pokemon since I think maybe I was 5. I had Leaf Green first, and then all my games got stolen, and I went back in the timeline and ended up with Pokemon Red, Yellow, and Gold. The originals. As a kid, I used to pretend I had a different Pokemon following me around every day, and I had to take care of them. So yeah, I've been a Pokemon nerd for quite a while. Side note, I'm also a fan of the Digimon anime, at least the first few seasons. I haven't played the games, don't really plan to. I've heard they're kind of confusing. And past the Kanto part of the Pokemon anime, I actually got more invested in Digimon, which I think was probably due to the fact that there was an ongoing story most of the time. That being said, I definitely enjoyed the Pokemon games and the movies more. Now I might as well just quickly ramble about some of my other main interests that are obvious if you're a fan of my channel. I love the Warrior Cat series and have been reading it since 2012. I'm still slowly collecting all the books, and I'm rereading / catching up to the series in a general book release date order, but I'm reading full arcs like The Prophecies Begin, The New Prophecy, etc. all at once. As of right now, I'm about to start Omen of the Stars in my rereading journey, getting closer to where I'll get into new content for me, which would be books released after Dawn of the Clans, and for anyone curious, my favorite characters are Jayfeather and Greywing. I've also been making designs for characters as a warm-up daily, and I'm not really posting them anywhere, but I might make a Tumblr collection like Nifty Senpai, Ursaday, and some others. If I figure out how to do it, I don't know how Tumblr works. I've done about a little less than 60, I think, so far, But there's thousands of cats in the series, so yeah. Either way, I'm having a lot of fun. Let's move on. I'm also an Animal Crossing fan, on and off. I love the characters and it's really cute, but I either play this series daily and enjoy it and obsessively try to collect everything, or I don't touch it for months. No reason, really. I just get bursts of wanting to play it. Chugga Conroy got me into the series back when he was making his New Leaf Let's Play, and now I'm just kind of hooked. It's kind of funny considering my first introduction to Animal Crossing was, I think, Wild World, where I found a game of it just outside, and then I popped into my game as a small little child, and the first thing that happened was it said, like, Welcome to Hell or something, because that was the name that they made for the town. And then Rossetti yelled at me, so I turned it off and I said, this game sucks and it's evil and it scares me. I was like really little. And lastly, for some main fandoms, I'll mention Danganronpa. I can never escape this pit and content for it still makes me really happy, so I'm fine here. If you didn't know, I have a fangin comic over on Instagram called Despair Emporium, which admittedly went on a bit of a hiatus recently, but the good news is I finally found that balance, and as of posting this, Despair Emporium should be back tomorrow with free pages every Monday. I wrote this story back in high school, and certain future plot points might show that, but I'd really love to get to the end of it. And thank you for the person who mentioned loving my comic on the Q&A post. The link to my fangin is always linked in the description, but keep in mind, you have to read from the very bottom post to the very first post, so like read from the bottom up, because it's on Instagram and it's, chronological. But in general, the Danganronpa series really got me way into art. And listing these fandoms I enjoy is related to a question someone asked, which was what my favorite fandom is that I'm in. This question has an unrelated part 2 that I'll get into later, and to be honest, it's kind of hard to pick a favorite, but my persona is a combination of my enjoyment of Pokemon and Danganronpa, but I've also been more involved with the Warriors community lately, so, really hard to pick, but I'm just gonna leave it at those three. In general, every fandom kind of has its toxic side, and I try to stay out of that. Another person asked if I plan to get into a new game or anime. They also recommended a mobile game called Twisted Wonderland, which since then I have downloaded and tried to play on my phone, but my phone crashed and it refuses to load it, and I've let it load for a really long time, so I'll mess with that more. And as for other games, I'm not too big of a gamer myself. In general, a lot of my time is taken drawing. I more so enjoy story-based games that I can watch a playthrough of while doing other things. Like, I really enjoyed Undertale when that was a big thing, watching people play that, and also 999, the series for Zero Escape, for that franchise. I haven't finished seeing anyone playing for the entire franchise. I'm kind of like in the middle of the second game, but that was a while ago, so I should watch that again. But as for playing myself, it's mostly just Pokemon and Animal Crossing and Clan Gen. Oh, and Monster Prom / Camp, etc. I don't have Monster Road Trip or whatever it was called. And board game-wise, I have a My Hero Academia Monopoly set that my mom absolutely destroys me at, which is a good lead into the second part of that question, by the way, about anime. I watch a lot of anime, but I'm behind on most of them, and I don't really make content for every anime I watch. But I'd say some new shows I watched this year that I really liked were not necessarily ones that came out this year, but I think most of them did. Blue Period, Tamagotchi Game, Summertime Rendering, Heaven's Design Team, really love that with the animals, Spy X Family, and as for ones that I still need to finish / they're still airing, or things that I'm just very behind on, that I'm also really enjoying are Chainsaw Man, My Hero Season 6, Given, Blue Lock, Do It Yourself, and Call of the Night. Call of the Night soundtrack is amazing, by the way. There's probably more, but I don't want to list too much, so hopefully that gives you a good idea. I want to watch more anime next year since there's a lot I want to check out. Overall, I'm just a nerd and I'm not too picky on the anime I watch. I will watch cute romances and also murder-filled bloodbaths. I'm not that picky. Feel free to ask about specific shows below and I'll let you know if I've seen them or heard of them and my opinions. And a part 2 to an earlier question was if I had any pets, and oh boy, let's get into this now. You might have noticed the extra critters in the picture I'm drawing or drew. So last year we had free dogs. Now we have 5 animals. Let's go from the oldest to the youngest. Chiquita is a 12-year-old Chihuahua, and she's my baby. She also, however, snores and makes weird noises that my mic picks up a lot. She has an autoimmune disease, which means her immune system thinks her red blood cells are something else and it attacks them. And she's doing really good right now, though, and the vet says it's in remission, which is great. Next is Yoshi, who is about 9, I believe. He's our only boy, and he's very loving. He also tries to pick fights with unknown dogs on walks, though, so, 2 sides of a coin. He's very protective of his girls, the other dogs. He used to be my Nana's dog until she sadly passed away, and we took him in since then. He's also been driving my mom crazy. Next is Cujo, who is around 6. She's my mom's dog, and her name was supposed to be ironic because she's really small. All of these dogs are little dogs. But she lives up to her name. She is a bully and needs to knock it off. She's very possessive and can't hide her evil behind that cute face. But that being said, she's a part of the family, and she's also very attached to my mom. She is, very clingy. And over the last year, we got 2 new additions. My mom's customer rescued a cat who had kittens, and we ended up adopting one of them. She is my other baby, and her name is Kit Kat. She'll be 1 year old in March. She's a little bratty sometimes, but overall, she's a love bug and pretty chill. She's a weird cat. She doesn't really like catnip or anything like that. If you follow my Instagram, I post her to my stories somewhat often. And the last pet we have is my mom's cat, Pippi, who comes with a story. She found her wandering outside, skinny and very dirty. There had recently been a dead cat near us that looked a lot like her, so we were wondering if that was her mom. So my mom fed her for like 2 weeks in an attempt to bond and catch her since she was still pretty small, and eventually we did. And after taking her to one vet who said she was feral and couldn't see her, we took her home for a day or so and quarantined her. And then we took her to a different vet who was able to hold her like a baby doll and said she was very sweet. So now we joke about how feral she is. That being said, she was a little jumpy for a bit, but she's calmed down a lot. Now she's just a little pig that wants to eat all the time. We got her in October and don't know exactly how old she is, but the guess is around 6 months. She's also really short, but not short enough to be a munchkin cat apparently, but she's got little stubby legs. But yeah, we named her Pippi because Pippi Longstockings due to her having white markings that look like stockings and also being an orphan. So yeah, we have a zoo, but we love them and spoil them even though they're brats and they drive my mom absolutely crazy. Between the dogs. So in editing, I noticed that my audio got really, really quiet after that, so I'm finishing this video in post. Between the dogs, what I was trying to say, by the way, was between the dogs peeing on her new flooring just to be a jerk despite going on many, many walks, and Pippi constantly meowing just because she wants food, and also because the vet recommended getting her fixed in January, and she ended up going into heat earlier than expected. This has been a headache-filled past week. If you hear any weird noises in the background, my cats are playing with each other. But yeah, I'm basically just an animal-loving dork who has interests from my childhood that never really went away, but hopefully this helps some of the newer people here get to know me better. And if you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate if you could like, subscribe, and check out some of my other stuff if you like. My commissions are open on Instagram if you'd like to support me that way. And with that said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week. Peace!